I'm Debbie Young. A Palm Coast man ran over a deputy's foot during a traffic stop on Saturday. Flagler County Sheriff's deputies allege that Jimmy Lee Bell III fled the traffic stop after running over Deputy Richard Petskovic's foot, and he's still on the loose. It happened on 2nd Street South in Flagler Beach just before 7 p.m. on Saturday. The deputy pulled Bell over for running a stop sign, but during their conversation, Bell hit the gas and took off, running over the deputy's foot in the process. Petskovsek, the Crime Stopper's Flagler Law Enforcement Officer of the Year, was taken to Florida Hospital Flagler for treatment and was released. Bell was on probation at the time of the incident after being found guilty of domestic battery by strangulation, the victim being his girlfriend. He was last seen driving westbound over the Flagler Beach Bridge.
This portion of WNZF Local News, a service of the Daytona Beach International Airport. Fly to the Big Apple in a New York minute on JetBlue from the Daytona Beach International Airport.
The Flagler Beach Pier has been closed since it suffered major damages from Hurricane Matthew. This past Saturday, after more than 8 months, it reopened. Larry Newsom is the city manager for Flagler Beach, and he tells us that the pier reopening is big for the local economy. The pier made quite a bit of money its first day open.
We actually made $1,700. That's not including the passes. So the pier is actually a huge revenue generator. But not only that, it's an economic issue for the county. You know, that was our goal, is to make sure it was open.
And the pier making money is good news for local taxpayers.
The money goes actually to pay the insurance on the pier. And we just actually got a check from the insurance company about $1.2 million, which means that what you're seeing right now didn't cost the taxpayers anything.
Flagler Beach City Manager Larry Newsom tells us that he was happy to see fishermen back on the pier, and people are just generally excited to have the pier reopened. But he tells us there's more to be done.
Now, our biggest goal is to work on what we're going to do with the future pier, working with FEMA. And my goal is 1,300 to 1,500 feet.
An official opening and ribbon cutting ceremony will take place this Saturday, July 1st at 9 in the morning at the Flagler Beach Pier. Rich Carroll, WNZF Local News.
Flagler County sees its 22nd roadway death of the year. Ben Smith reports.
The crash happened Saturday morning around 5:45 on southbound Interstate 95. A witness to the accident says a vehicle approached from behind at a high rate of speed, swerved around the witness, then fishtailed off the highway and into the median. Investigators say the car sustained heavy damage after crashing through the guardrail. The driver of the wrecked car died at the scene. One southbound lane of the interstate was closed for several hours. At latest check, the victim has not been identified. Florida Highway Patrol is investigating. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Ben Smith.
A whole new career for former Flagler County Sheriff Jim Manfrey at the age of 59. He's launched a new law firm this month in Palm Coast. Manfrey was defeated in the primary of his re-election campaign more than 6 months ago. He says he spent his first 4 months of unemployment consulting stakeholders in medical marijuana, an industry poised to become $1 billion trade in Florida. More than 70% of Florida voters opted for the amendment last November, and Governor Rick Scott on Friday signed it into law. Manfrey was the only law enforcement officer in the state advocating for that bill. Now he's advising potential licensees and investors who need to know how to navigate the medical marijuana landscape in Florida. He says his new legal practice will focus on real estate and business development, and he will handle some criminal cases as well. A suspect is in custody following a shooting and chase. Mary Rose Hamilton has the story.
Flagler County Sheriff's deputies responded to Fulton Place in Palm Coast Saturday afternoon after reports of a shooting. Deputies found a 19-year-old man on his garage floor with a gunshot wound to the abdomen. Responding units learned the suspect had fled in an older model Honda four-door car. Deputies pursued the suspect, who was throwing items out of his car. Finally, Levi Even Ovenshire, 19 of 13 Fulton Place in Palm Coast, was caught after his vehicle crashed into the wood line at Raleigh Drive and Ray Drive. The victim was airlifted to Halifax and Daytona Beach with life-threatening injuries. The reason behind the shooting is unknown at this time. The incident is under investigation. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Mary Rose Hamilton.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Debbie Young.